kick this puppy off. Hello everybody, this is Ismortah, and I'm coming at you this evening with my ELEMANCERS stream, which is 7 p.m. PST on Wednesdays. While I provide updates, live play sessions, or content related to ELEMANCERS, which is a fantasy-based strategy board game that I'm currently developing as part of Shadow Balance Games, with a Kickstarter launch date of Q4, with more information on the date and materials. More information is going to be shared the closer we get to that date. So what am I sharing with you guys this evening? Well, before I get to that, let me just quickly check to make sure the sound is coming out great on Twitch for you guys ever since we went live, so one sec. Yep, looks good. Alrighty. So, what are you guys currently looking at here? This is one bit of information that I want to provide a little more information on. As part of two things I want to share this evening. The first one is RageCon. So RageCon is a board game convention, which I'm sure many of you have heard of these. What is a board game convention? It's conventions sort of like Comic-Con, WonderCon, that it's just a community of people that get together for a shared interest. In this case, it's not Rage. I mean, there is always Blood Rage that happens, which is another board game, but it's a board game convention. So anyone that's in the Reno area, Reno, Nevada, can actually come and enjoy the experience of getting together and find like-minded people just to share the gaming experience with. And this is where I've been exposed to a lot of different board games. Why they call it Rage, as you see below, it's Reno Area Gaming Expo. So it's cool pizzazz on that mnemonic. And as you can see, RageCon is going to be in 64 days. So why am I talking about RageCon? Because this is the biggest convention that's closest to where Shadow Balance Games is based, which is Carson City, Nevada, which is just 25 minutes south of Reno. And so it's always a great convention to get local people excited and to build that community. And like I said, it's where I've got exposed to many different games. And at this next RageCon, which is in 64 days, at the end of June, June 28th through the 30th, I will be demoing ELEMANCERS, which will be an early beta build of the game. So what I mean by that, and what's a beta build? So an alpha build is a prototype of your game that you're testing. You have the core design, core mechanics ready to test, and you have representative art, up to like 50% of the art done. So you're testing that, hey, is this a great idea? Do people think it's fun, engaging, and worth my time? Like I said prior to that, I already got great feedback on my alpha build, so that's why we got the green light to go forward with the beta. What a beta build is, it's art complete, and you're just stress testing the game. What I mean by that is, you're testing what happens when you have multiple players play, how long does it take for people to play the game? Can people figure out how to play the game? Granted, it's not blind testing, it just, when you tell someone rules, can they follow along with what to do? But it's basically a complete game. You're just getting people's reaction to the game. There are different types of testings you can do, as far as like what I call iteration testing. You're just choosing one certain scenario of the game, and you're doing multiple testings to determine the ratio of things happening and the advantages, disadvantages, and how often something happens. And there's also blind testing, that you just put the box in front of somebody and see if they can just figure out how to play the game. All these are important things to test, because you do want people to have a fun experience. You do want people to figure out how to play the game when they open the box, and you want to make sure that the game is balanced, that there's not some sort of situation you didn't at least try to hash out to see if it's a problem long term. And so it's going to be great, because at RageCon I'm going to be demoing the game as well as GMing one or two games as well. And so let's see if we can provide more information below. The best 3 days tabletop in Northern Nevada. That's actually very true. And like I say, here there's a lot of different things going on. There's board games. Some people bring deluxe editions, like you see here, a deluxe version of Catan. Events, tournaments, play to wins, special guests, and where I'm going to have Elemencers, where I'm going to be demoing, is what's called the Game Lab. That any designers and publishers go there to hash out and give feedback on each other's ideas, which is great because it's actually professional feedback. It's great to get feedback from players because you see how they feel, so then you can go back and see how do I get someone to not feel that way, like if they're confused or don't know what to do, or that they don't have an impact in the game, or that it's confusing. But by getting feedback also from designers and publishers, you can actually, with the designers, hash out mechanics and how to retool mechanics to better serve the people that are feeling a certain way when they play the game. And there's also publishers, which is an opportunity for people to see your game and maybe pick up and work with you on developing your game or publishing your game, or providing that publisher or developer perspective on it's a cool idea, but people may or may not buy it for this reason. So it's just a lot of different avenues to get the great feedback when you actually have a representative version of your game. One of the things I noticed, because I haven't seen this screen in a long time, I don't think you guys can see my arrow, so I'll just dictate, is on the left-hand side, the guy that's facing the screen that is wearing a sweatshirt, that is me, that's Ismortah. I just realized that I'm in this shot for RageCon, which is cool. It's like, yes, I was actually there. I believe I was actually playing Betrayal at House on the Hill, which ironically is one of my favorite games I've played, and it was actually the very first game I played that really got me sucked into the board game industry altogether. It was just like such an immersive storytelling, and the person I remember that I played with, it actually wasn't at this convention, it was another one on DunderCon in San Ramon, California, that he had all these different miniatures for different monsters, so he just got totally sucked in. It's like it was like a D&D version of, but you're playing a board game. It's like, whoa, this is so cool. But anyway, I definitely recommend going to a board game convention if you've never gone to one before, and I will be at RageCon this year, so if you want to check out Elemencers, hit me up to see what I'm all about, or just play some games or GM some games. I definitely recommend. It's a great place to meet people. So the second thing that I want to share with you guys is an update on the 30-day project, which I described before was this program that Sean Plott does a couple times a year, that you have a 30-day project and just a platform like you see here that you can provide information on setting goals and activities you could do towards those goals, just as a motivational platform that people can also chime in and check out projects and comment on projects to just motivate you to actually complete a project. And it doesn't have to be something super complicated like a board game. It could be, I want to read 5 chapters of this book, but I need to find time to do it in a day. So how am I going to accomplish that goal? So I wanted to share here with just some of the goals that I had set and the progress on what's currently happening with the game. So prior, what I had set for this 30-day project were the previous 3-week goals. I guess swig right quick. And then I had set and provide an update for week 4 goal, what's been going on a little while ago. So for week 1, I was focused on getting game testing implementation for the beta build and designing the UI. So actually incorporating the learnings I got from the alpha testing I did, which was about 100 player hours. And by player hours, what that means is if you have, let's say, 5 players playing a game for 5 hours, then that'd be 25 player hours. The fact that you have 5 people that played the game for 5 hours, multiply. And so I then got feedback from a user experiencing the game for 25 hours worth of time. For week 2, I wanted to complete the remaining game testing implementation from the beta alpha build. There was a lot of information. It's got like 5 full pages of feedback and things that people sought or thought, or little things that would be cool or maybe should be tweaked. A lot of great feedback, as well as assets that I need to develop for the UI, which the majority of the UI was not done yet because that's a pass I'm doing during the beta build. Since that's art, it's not necessarily drives the core mechanics, but it does drive having fun in the game, because if you can't figure out what you're looking at or how to play the game, that's all user experience. Week 3 goal, complete the UI asset list and finalize design UI for all game cards. I did complete high level what assets I need, but as far as the final design for UI, I'm still brainstorming what the actual final look I want to do, and I want to do it right, and so that just still being iterated. And week 4, which is this week, began designing the remaining lore and saga card story text. So for the lore and saga cards, that's what drives the set collection part of the game, as well as unlocking your legendary weapon, which gives you a significant advantage for your clan in the game. But for all those to also be story text, so you're actually learning what Elemancers is, what these different spells and abilities are that your clans do, why your faction is after these artifacts, just to provide more depth to the game and fun when you're waiting for someone to do your turn to actually engage with these cards that you have, with every clan and faction having different story at their disposal. So just that alone is good replay value. So what have I achieved? So for my update for today, I completed the PMP for mapping out activities required to complete the beta build. What do I mean by that? PMP is short for Project Management Plan. So I already had at high level what I need to do, but since now I'm in the beta phase, that it's more completing work than brainstorming and designing how the game should look and feel. There's just a lot of work that I actually have to do myself, as well as networking with other people that I'm contracting with or doing business with to complete the game. And so it's like, okay, so what activities do I have to do by what milestones, and certain milestones have to happen before other milestones, and also in a timely manner. Like, for example, I need to have my early beta build complete before RageCon so I could show it at RageCon. That's true, I did gloss over why am I calling it early beta? Because not all of the UI art may be final, but it will have majority of the UI that I want to have. So like the final look of UI may not be there, the presentation formatting and the conceptually type stuff I want to have will be there, regardless if it's final, placeholder, or close to final, as well as story text and the look of game text and the look of the game board and the player board. So like just that alone is a lot of work, and that's the majority of the work that's happening during the beta phase, other than implementing game balance and some game balancing feedback, possibly some polish. I'm definitely going to try to get the miniatures in by that time so people could actually see what the miniatures will be as well. And also advertising a Kickstarter lock milestone. So all the work required for not only the beta build lock, but also the advertised lock, meaning that I need to have game assets completed by that time so that I have enough time to advertise before the Kickstarter. And then the Kickstarter lock, meaning that I have any design or anything that I'm having for the Kickstarter campaign, regardless if it's assets for the campaign itself that you look at on the page, or email blast communications, actually have it at the ready, so that when I'm ready to communicate, all I have to do is do a little bit of fudging of what I'm doing, and I can quickly deliver those assets and not have to scramble and create them. Next up, what I'm also doing is practicing using CorelDRAW before implementing UI design. CorelDRAW is the main program that I'm using for the UI for this game project, chiefly because it was more affordable than Photoshop, considering this is my first game publishing. And also, it's a vector program. And so I definitely wanted to have a program that not necessarily I can paint to do stuff with, because that type of work I'm hiring artists to do, but for the creation of the format of the cards and the box, and coalescing all the images and text together, which is very easy to do in a vector-based program, especially the fact that you want certain images and assets to be exact dimensions apart, because you can measure it. And like us went into for the week 4 goal, also beginning the brainstorming of any story text I have developed, or story text that I've created at a high level, but to flesh out what little bits of story am I going to talk about on this card versus this card, or maybe just in the manual. So yeah, that's what I currently have going on. As you can see on the right hand side on the time frame, the 30-day project will conclude, mine anyway, on 5/3. So that gives me like 10 days to knock out as much as I can. And really, like I said, the whole point of this is a motivational tool. The fact that I just began the beta phase, I wanted to hit the ground running, so know exactly what I need to do and have a good idea how I need to do it and when it needs to get done by, and start creating those assets. So like even for my update for 424, you see in the upper left hand side, it's possible that I may not complete all of that work, but the fact that I'm making efforts toward doing that, especially right now because I'm still working a 8 to 5 job, and so full time. So I'm just working on this in my off hours. So this is great, giving me the insight on, let's just get work done on this. Let's get work done on that. That way, later on, when I have a little bit more time to work on the project, I already made a significant bite out of this whale. Because you can't swallow a whale. You take it one bite at a time. As long as you do something every week, you'll eventually get there. But if you don't do anything, you'll never get there. But this is a great motivational tool. And like I said, I have my PMP belt, so I know exactly what I need to do, and so I can plan out all of the work level activities. And I look forward to next Wednesday for my next Elemancer update stream to provide you some more detail and stuff that I'm working on, as well as some stuff I've completed. So thanks for watching. Here's some more RageCon pick action. There's not going to be a stream this Friday, Saturday, or Sunday because it's what I call Avengers Weekend. So I'm just not going to be on social media at that time because I'll be busy either doing the stream, either watching the movie, or I don't want to be on social media when people haven't seen the movie. But the next stream will be the next Monday, which I will progress from where I last at on Battletoads. See if I can go from the rat race through the rest of the game. We'll see. But I'll be back to my regular schedule next week. I am also, though, thinking about the fact that the RPG stream that I do Saturday and Friday. I think I may reduce that to just one day a week, just because I'm going to need more time, like I saw for my just this aggressive week on stuff I'm trying to complete. A little more time when I have free time to dedicate to Elemancer's. I'm thinking probably Friday for the stream. That way I have an off day every other day that I stream, so I can upload videos and work on some other stuff in between. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time, and enjoy Endgame if you're going to see it this weekend, and I will see you guys streaming next Monday, 7 p.m. PST, to knock out some Battletoads. See you guys then.